Hello, can you all hear me? Okay. So today we are going to start the last class of our straight lines, and here we are going to cover the pair of lines. We will complete the whole pair of straight lines which are included in our IITJEE syllabus. Now before that, in the yesterday's class, I have given you some homework. So first we will do those problems and then we will straight away jump to pair of straight lines. So this was the question, which was the question from your optimization problem. We have been said that consider 2 points. 2 points are there and a straight line is given to us. The equation of the line is 4x plus 3y plus 9 equals to 0, and 2 points are given, which is 0, 1, and another point is 2, 0. Now the first step is to check whether these 2 points are lying on the same side of the line or it is lying in the opposite side of the line. Accordingly, we will find out the point P. So in this case, it is very clear that if we put the point A in the given expression, 4x plus 3y plus 9, if we put 0, 1, so we are getting basically some value which is greater than 0. And if we put 2, 0 again, we are getting some value which is again greater than 0. So both of these 2 points, when we put it in the equation, it is giving us the same sign. And the same sign indicates that these 2 points are on the same side of the, yes, definitely. After completing the class, you people can take this PDF, which will be in the description section. I will give you the link so you can download this class PDF from there right after the class. So since they are of same sign, so you will say that the 2 points are lying on the same side of the given line. Now we have to find out the value of, we have to find out a point P such that your PA minus PB is maximum. This is our optimization problem 2. And as I have discussed yesterday, since these 2 points are lying on the same side of the line, so simply I will find out the equation of AB. Equation of AB from the, we can easily see that the points are 0, 1 and 2, 0. Therefore, the equation will be through the intercept form. So we are having the equation like this, right? This is the equation of AB. And what was the method? That after getting this line, you have to solve the equation of this line. I mean, you have to solve this line and this line to get its point of intersection. And that will be our required point P. So if we solve this equation and this equation, we are going to get our required point P. Okay. So let us solve this sum. I mean, this equation. Now, if we subtract, so from here we are getting y as 17 over 5. Okay. Now, if y is 17 over 5, let me put it here. 2 minus 34 over 5, so that gives us minus 24 over 5, correct? Therefore, the coordinate of P is minus 24 over 5, 17 over 5. That's it. Is it clear? So this is our required point. Okay, let us move for the next problem. This problem came in 2021. Same sum. Let us see. A man starts walking. A man starts walking from a point minus 3, 4 and touches the x-axis at r. So now the man is moving in this direction, coming and meeting this line at 4, and then turns to reach the point Q, which is 0, 2. Okay, so this point is Q, 0, 2. And this point is a point on the x-axis, right? So let us say the coordinate of r be x, 0, since it is on the x-axis. Now they have said that the man is walking at a constant speed. If the man reaches at the point Q in the minimum time, now to reach the point Q at minimum time, it means that it is covering the minimum distance, right? Since the man is reaching from point P to point Q in minimum time, it means that the man is reaching the point Q traveling the minimum distance. That is, we want to minimize PR plus RQ. We will minimize this. Okay? So yesterday, I have already discussed this, that to minimize this one, all I have to do is I have to take the image of any of this one point P or Q. Let me take the image of Q because it will be easier for us, as it is on the y-axis and this is the x-axis, so its image will be straight away, can be written as 0, minus 2. Let us say this is my Q dash. So now our method is find out the equation of PQ dash. Now by using 2-point form, the equation of PQ dash will be y minus y1 by y2 minus y1 equals to x minus x1 by x2 minus x1. So that gives us is it right? So this is the equation of PQ dash. Now to get the point R, all we have to do is we have to solve this equation and the x-axis. That is the equation of this line. Now we all know that the equation of x-axis is y equals to 0. So let me put y equals to 0 over here. So we are getting x as minus 1. Okay. Thus, your point R is nothing but minus 1, 0. Right? Point R is your minus 1, 0. Now we have to find out the value of this expression. So what is my PR square? That is the distance between the square of the distance between P and R. It will be 4 plus 16, that is 20. And what is your RQ square? RQ square will be 1 square plus 2 square, that gives us 5. Okay. Therefore, PR square plus RQ square, 50 times of that, we need this value. So it's coming like 50 into 25. That gives us 1250. Is it clear? So let me reveal the answer. Your answer is 1250. Okay. Now let us straight jump for the last part of straight line, which is our pair of lines. Now suppose we have been given two equations. This is one equation. This is one equation. Clearly, these are the equation of two straight lines. Now, if I write those two equations in one equation form, like this, then you observe that this equation now becomes a general second degree equation in which x square, y square, xy, x, y, and the constant term all are involved. Clear? Now, this equation will be said as, because as we all know that linear equation always represents straight lines. But this is a quadratic form. But this will also represent straight line. But not a single straight line, but a pair of straight lines. Is it clear? So what is the combined equation of the pair of straight lines? It is nothing but, just 1 minute, some noise are coming from outside. Okay. So this will represent a pair of straight lines. Clear? It will not represent a single line. It will represent a pair of straight lines. Okay. So now, how to form pair of straight lines? When any two equations are given, we will simply multiply the corresponding sides to get it. But remember one thing, while finding out the pair of straight lines, suppose if we choose the second, if we see the second example, here if I ask you form the pair of straight lines, and if you go by simply multiplying the corresponding sides, which is going to give us y square equals to minus x square. That gives us x square plus y square equals to 0. Now, if you tell me that, sir, this is the equation of the pair of lines given by these two lines, answer is no. This is not the equation of pair of straight lines. Clear? Why it is so? Because you can multiply the way I have done it here. You can multiply the corresponding sides. The only thing is that you must remember that your right hand side should be always equals to 0. Is it clear? Your right hand side should be always equals to 0. So when two lines are given to you, like y equals to x and y equals to minus x, and if they ask you to form the pair of straight lines, all you will do is you will simply take everything in one side to make the other side 0, and then you multiply. Now, if I multiply the corresponding sides, this will give us the pair of straight lines, the equation of pair of straight lines. Is it clear? So always remember, to form pair of straight lines, your right hand side should be always 0, and then you multiply the corresponding equation of the straight lines. Is it clear? Now, one question can eventually come, sir, this equation, if we consider this equation contains x square, y square, xy, x, y, and constant. So does it mean that every equation which contains all those terms will represent pair of straight lines? Answer is no. Answer is no. Let us consider the general form of this second degree equation. It is like this: ax square plus twice hxy plus by square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equals to 0. Look it very carefully. Are you not getting the same thing over here? Are you not getting the same form here? We are getting the same form here. Now, in this case, it represents a pair of straight lines, but not for every case. Now, when this general second degree equation will represent a pair of straight lines, it will represent one when it holds this condition. When it holds this condition, that is ABC plus 2FGH minus AF square minus BG square minus CH square equals to 0. If this condition is satisfied, or this can be written in this determinant form also. It's AHG HBF GFC equals to 0. This determinant equals to 0. The easiest way to remember this is remember a poetry. A hungry goat has been found greedy for corn. Is it clear? A hungry goat has been found greedy for corn. This determinant will be equals to 0. If it is so, then you will say that this general second degree equation will always represent a pair of straight lines. Okay? So not all general second degree equation represents a pair of straight lines. It will represent a pair of straight lines when this determinant equals to 0. That is, this is the condition. This is the condition for which a general second degree equation, this is called your general second degree equation. This is general second degree equation. So this general second degree equation will represent a pair of straight lines when this condition holds true. Here, now, suppose this condition holds true for some general second degree equation. So it represents a pair of straight lines. Now, if you want to go deeper and if you want to find out the character or the nature of the straight lines, then you have to find out another expression. You have to find out the value of another expression, which is your h square minus ab. So if you find that h square minus ab is greater than 0, you will say that the lines will be real, distinct, and intersecting. If you find that h square minus ab is equals to 0, two lines will be coincident. There will be two coincident lines. Okay? And if you find that h square minus ab is less than 0, then no such real straight lines are possible. No such real straight lines are possible. In one way, we can say that the lines will be imaginary. That's it. Okay? So we have to remember this condition, and to know the nature of the lines, we have to calculate h square minus ab, and according to its sign, we will say its nature. Okay, let us take a problem. See this question. It has been said that for what value of lambda this expression, this general second degree equation, this general second degree equation will represent a straight line, pair of straight lines. Achha, sorry, this is not minus. This is not minus. This is, I'm sorry, this is not plus. This is minus. Okay. Right? So first task is to find out what is your, if you compare this with the general second degree equation, what we get. From here we get A is 12, 2H is minus 10, that implies H is minus 5, B is 2, 2G is 11, implies G is 11 over 2, 2F is minus 5, implies F is minus 5 over 2, and your C is nothing but lambda, right? Now, this will represent a pair of straight lines. Then what is the condition? What I told you? ABC plus 2FGH minus AF square minus BG square minus CH square. This should be equals to 0. Is it clear? So simply you put those values over here, A, B, C, all the values you know. You know A, you know B, you know C, you know G, you know F, you know H, everything you know. Yeah. Hello. Arya Dev. Good evening. So you know all those values. You know all those values. So simply put those values over here. I'm not calculating because it will be a wastage of time otherwise. You simply put all those values here to get the value of lambda. Is it clear? This is how we find out the values, because this kind of problems are very important problems for the state level examination. Okay? It may come in your men's type examination, because here they want to check whether you know the condition or not for a general second degree equation when represent a pair of lines. Whether you know the condition or not, that they want to check, and they will give us this kind of problem. Is it clear? So the major task is to find out what are the constants. What are the constants? A, B, C, G, H, and F, right? Find it out, put it in the given condition, and find out the value of the unknown given in the question. So this question again. Prove that the general second degree equation below represents a pair of straight lines. Again, I'm not going to do this, because this you can check. I will simply write what is, if I compare this equation with our general second degree equation, then we are getting A is 6, 2H is 11, implies H is 11 over 2, B is minus 10, 2G is 1, implies G is 1 over 2, 2F is 31, implies F is 31 over 2, and C is minus 15, right? So you know all those values. So simply all you do is put this in this equation, ABC, I mean in this condition, 2FGH minus AF square minus BG square minus CH square. So you simply put all those values here. You will find that it is coming to 0. So that implies that this equation which is given to us represents a pair of straight lines. Okay. Now we have to find out what is their point of intersection. So from this first part, we have proved that it represents two straight lines. That's for sure. But now we have to find out their point of intersection and the angle between them. Now, one clear indication is coming from this problem that you have to find out the two lines. The moment you find out the two lines, you can easily find out their point of intersection. At the same time, you can find out the angle between them. So main task is to find out, listen it very carefully, because this is the most important part of this question. So you have to find out the two equations of the straight lines which have been combinedly written in this way. So how to segregate or how to find out the equation when we know that a general second degree equation represents a pair of straight lines? How to find out the two equations of straight lines involved in it? So for that, listen it very carefully. Always see this square wala part. Okay, you always take it's 6x squared plus 11xy 10y squared. You simply factorize this part every time when you have to find out, when you require the equation of the straight lines. Always factorize this part. So if I try to factorize this, what we are going to have? 6x squared. 15 minus 4 will give us 60. So 15 minus 4xy gives us 11xy. So 3x I'm taking common. So it's 2x plus 5y minus 2y. 2x plus 5y. This is 2x plus 5y into 3x minus 2y, right? So this is the factorization of this first quadratic part. Now all you do is to find out the actual equation of the straight lines. All you do is you say that your two straight lines will be 2x plus 5y, the expression that you got here, plus add a constant, 3x minus 2y, the second factor, add C2, and this is equals to the equation given to us. Is it clear? This is how we find out the equation of two straight lines involved in this general second degree equation. Now the question comes here, how to find out C1 and C2? How to find out C1 and C2? So all you have to do is you have to simply compare those expressions. You have to simply compare the coefficients of the respective terms. Okay, so if I multiply, what we are going to have? When we multiply this with this, we are going to have this part. So I'm simply writing that. Okay, and then when we multiply this with this, we are getting C1 times 3x minus 2y plus C2 times 2x plus 5y, which is this given expression. So you can write this thing as, don't write anymore, no need to expand this anymore. You simply compare now. What is the coefficient of, what is the coefficient of, what is the coefficient of x? Because you see there are two unknowns to you. One is your C1, another one is C2. This you have to find out. So somehow whether I need at least two equations to find out C1 and C2. So two equations we will get. Find out what is the coefficient of x in the left hand side. Coefficient of x will be 3C1 and 2C2. Okay. And what is the coefficient of x in the right hand side? Which is equals to 1. So this is one equation that we got. Now find out what is the coefficient of y. What is the coefficient of y in the left hand side? It's minus 2C1 plus 5C2. And what is the coefficient of y in the right hand side? It's 31. Is it clear? So you got two equations. Another equation also we can form. We can find out the coefficient of xy. That we can do, but it will be an unnecessary thing. Because we need two equations, we got two equations, right? So xy I don't need. I need the constant term, but I don't need it right now. Okay? From here, because we are getting C1, C2 also. So from here, because we have when we are multiplying this with this, we will get a term C1 into C2 also, right? So C1, C2 will be in that case equals to minus 15. But two equations is sufficient for us to calculate C1 and C2. Isn't it so? Okay. So simply solve it. It's 3C1 plus 2C2 is 1 minus 2C1 plus 5C2, that is 31. Okay. So simply multiply this with 2, this with 3. Now simply add this. So C2 is coming to 5. C2 is coming to 5. Now put C2 value in any of this equation. Let me put it here. So we are going to have so C1 is -9/3 gives us -3. Correct? So the two equations you got. What are those two equations? 2x plus 5y minus 3 is 0 and 3x minus 2y plus 5 equals to 0. These two equations we got. Yes or no? We got these two equations. So we got the equation of the two straight lines. Now it is pretty simple for us to find out the point of intersection. What will be the point of intersection? What will be the point of intersection in that case? Can we do it here? Okay, let me change the color of the pen. Otherwise, you will not understand. Okay, so what are the equations given here? Just 1 minute. 2x plus 5y minus 3. 2x plus 5y minus 3 equals to 0. 2x plus 5y minus 3 equals 3x minus 2y. 3x minus 2y plus 5 equals to 0. Correct? So these are the two equations we got. Now, what you have to find out? You have to find out the point of intersection first. So simply I will solve this too. Simply I will solve this too. Subtract this. You are going to have so we are having y equals to 1. And if you put y equals to 1 in this equation or any of this equation given, we are going to have the value of x. So 2x is coming to -2. So x is coming to -1. Therefore, their point of intersection. What is the point of intersection? Your point of intersection is -1, -1, -1. -1, -1, 1. So this is the point of intersection. Simple. So how we got the point of intersection? Again, I'm telling you, please try to remember this because this will help you to solve a lot of problem of this kind. Whenever you need the equation of the straight line, you simply factorize the quadratic part given to you and then you add constants to find out the equation of those lines, multiply them to get the pair of lines and then compare, right? From the two equations, you are going to find out the value of C1 and C2. The moment you get this C1 and C2, so you know the equation of the lines. The moment you know equation of lines, you can do anything with that lines. You can find out the point of intersection. You can find out the angle between them. Whatever you want, you can do that. But until and unless you get the equation of that straight line, you cannot do anything. So the major thing to remember how to find out the equation of the straight lines from the general second degree form. That's the thing you have to remember. Now let us find the second part of this question, which is said to be the angle between these two lines. No problem. We are having the lines, this one and this one. So what is the slope of this line? -2/5. And from this one, your slope is 3/2. Okay. So what is the angle between them? M1 minus M2 divided by 1 plus M1 M2 modulus. Correct? So you are having basically -2/5 plus 3/2. sorry, minus 3 over 2, minus 2 over 5 minus m2, that is minus 3 over 2 divided by 1 plus minus 2 over 5, 3 over 2. Correct? So we are basically having uh, yes. So what is the angle between them? It's nothing but tan inverse 19 over 4. And that's your answer. Is it clear to all? Have you understood this? Okay. Okay. So let us move for the next problem. But before that, I will teach you a very interesting thing. That is for finding out, shortcut for finding out the point of intersection. If suppose this question, let me take this question. The question was 6x squared plus 11xy minus 10y squared. Let me write it down. Let me write it here. Can I copy this one? Let me just check this one. No, I cannot copy. So I have to, oh, this one. No? So I cannot copy this one. So I have to copy, I have to write it again. 6x squared plus 11xy. 6xy. 6x squared plus 11xy. Then minus 10y squared plus x minus 10y squared minus 10y squared plus x, and we are having plus 31y minus 15 plus 31y minus 15, right? That was the question. This was the question, and we have to find out the point of intersection. Okay, now I'm teaching you a shortcut method of finding out the point of intersection. We have already got the point of intersection over here. The answer was your minus 1 comma 1. Now we will check whether the same answer is coming by using this shortcut method or not. That we are going to check it here. So let me write, this is a function of f. Now here a new thing that you have to know is what called your partial derivative. Is what called your partial derivative. What is partial derivative? Now when we are doing dy dx, in that case, you are differentiating y with respect to x, right? But when we are differentiating partially, then always remember that if you are differentiating with respect to x, if you are partially differentiating, we write that thing as del. So if we partially differentiate with respect to x, then we will treat everything other than x as constant. Even your y will be treated as constant when you are partially differentiating any function with respect to x. The same thing is true when you are partially differentiating a function with respect to y. When you are partially differentiating a function with respect to y, everything other than y is constant to you. Even in that case, your x is also constant to you. Getting my point? So what I'm doing, I'm simply partially differentiating this function f. With respect to x, you are differentiating, so your y is constant. So what you will get? 12x. Y is constant, only x is the variable. 11y plus 1. Okay? And if you derivative, find out that partial derivative with respect to y. To me, everything, including your x, is also constant. So if I differentiate, what we are going to have, this is 0, this is only 11x, this is 0, this is 0, this is only, have I done any mistake? Y, it's 11x. Oh, I'm sorry, this is not constant. This is not constant. It's minus 20y, minus, because we are partially differentiating with respect to y, na? So it is 20y, minus 20y, and we are having plus 31. Isn't it so? Yes or no? So 12x plus 11y plus 1, when we are partially differentiating it with respect to x, and when we are partially differentiating it with respect to y, then we are getting this. Right? Now, to find out the point of intersection, all you have to do is you simply treat this thing equals to 0 and take this thing equals to 0. Right? You take these two things equals to 0 and you simply solve this simultaneous equation to get your what? To get your point of intersection. Point of intersection. Is it clear? Now, if you solve this, you are definitely going to get x equals to 1 and y equals to minus 1. That's exactly what we got here. X equals to minus 1 and y equals to 1. X equals to minus 1 and I'm sorry, x is minus 1, y is 1. Or the other way around. X is minus 1, y is 1. Yes or no? Please check this one. I think I have done a mistake over here in calculating x and y. X is minus 1, y is 1. X is minus 1, y is 1. X is minus 1, y is 1. Yes, it's coming like that. But here what happened? If x is 1 and y is minus 1, we are not getting this is 0. Have I done anything mistake? 6x plus 11y plus 1 and this one. Have I written the equation correctly? 6x squared plus 11xy minus 10y squared. 11xy minus 10y squared plus x plus 31y plus x plus 31y minus 15. Yeah. So 12x plus 11y. Let me just go for a little calculation. Maybe I have done somewhere mistake. A calculation mistake is there. Equals to 0. And in this case, it's 11x minus 20y plus 31 equals to 0. But here, if we solve, we are going to have x as minus 1 and y is 1. Check it. X is minus 1. Am I doing anything major mistake or what? Here we are actually get x as minus 1 and y as 1. X as minus 1. Yeah, x as minus 1 and y is 1. Yeah, we are getting the same answer. We are correct. So x is minus 1 and y equals to 1. If you solve these two equations, you are going to get this value. So this is the exact value that we got when we have calculated the point of intersection by finding out its equation. Here I have not found any equation. Straight away, whatever quantity, general second degree equation is given to us, simply you partially differentiate it with respect to x. Then you go for partial differentiation with respect to y. And then equate these two things equals to 0 and solve for it to get the point of intersection. This is the shortcut for finding out the point of intersection. Is it clear now? Okay. Now see this question. The question is find the distance between the pair of lines represented by this equation. Okay. Find the distance between the pair of lines. Now, it is very clear from the given question that to find out the distance between the pair of lines, you must know the equation of the lines? Yes or no? You must know the equation of the lines. So now I will try to find out what is the equation of this line. And for that, as I told you, always take this quadratic part to factorize. So x square minus 6y plus 9y square, if we factorize, we are going to have x minus 3y whole square. That is, the two factors are x minus 3y, x minus 3y. So the given two equation of the straight lines will be x minus 3y plus c1 into x minus 3y plus c2, which is equals to your this given general second degree form, right? So now what will be the coefficient? Because I need to find out c1 and c2, so I need two equations. So coefficient of x from both sides. What will be the coefficient of x? It will be c2 plus c1. Coefficient of x from both sides, it will be c1 plus c2. And what is the coefficient of x in the right hand side? It's your 3. Now, what is the coefficient? This is the first equation that we got. Now you compare coefficient of y. What will be the coefficient of y? From the left hand side, we are going to have coefficient of y as minus 3c1, and from the other one will be minus 3c1 and minus 3c2, minus 3c2, right? Minus 3c2, which will be equals to your minus 9, right? Because the coefficient of y in the right hand side is minus 9. Have I done it correctly? Please check it. Coefficient of x, from here we are getting coefficient of x, and from here we are getting coefficient of x, right? So c1 plus c2, and coefficient of y you are going to have from this one and from this one. This is the coefficient of y, okay? And the constant term is c1, c2, which is equals to your minus 4, right? So now this is our second equation, this is our third equation. But see one interesting thing, from this equation, you are getting c1 plus c2 equals to 3. That is, this equation and this equation, they become same. So I cannot solve it, isn't it so? From these two equations, I cannot solve for c1 and c2 because they are the same equation. So now I have to take the help of this one to find out the value of c1 and c2. So from here, we are getting c1 is basically 3 minus c2. Simply replace this in 3. So 3 minus c2 into c2 will be equals to minus 4. So what you are getting? So take this thing in one side, c2 square minus 3c2 minus 4 equals to 0. So if I factorize, we are going to have c2 minus 4, c2 plus 1 equals to 0. So either your c2 is 4 or minus 1. Okay. Now if c2 is 4, what is your c1? It's minus 1. And if it is minus 1, it is coming to 4. Okay. So one constant is 4, another one is minus 1. Therefore, the two equations that we got are x minus 3y minus 1 equals to 0, and another one is x minus 3y plus 4 equals to 0. Okay, so now we can easily see that these two are parallel lines. So what is the distance between these two parallel lines? The difference between their constants divided by root over of square of the coefficient of x and square of the coefficient of y. So it gives us 5 over root 10. So that is same as 5 root 10 over 10. That gives us what? It's something like this. Okay. Or you can write this thing as root 5 into root 2 over root 2 into root 2. So it goes off. So answer is coming to root 5 over 2. Whichever way you can write your answer. Is it clear? But the main thing that you should learn from this sum is again how to find out the equations of the lines when this general second degree equation is given to us, and we know that this general second degree equation represents a pair of straight lines. Clear? That I have already explained. Because the moment you know the two lines, you know everything about those straight lines. If they ask you to find out the distance, if they ask you to find out the point of intersection, whatever question they ask from these two lines, you can find it out. Is it clear? Okay, now the most important thing is what called your homogeneous second degree equation. Now see, this was not your homogeneous second degree equation. Which one? This one is not your homogeneous second degree. It is called your general second degree equation. This is called your general second degree equation, not homogeneous. What do you mean by homogeneous equation? Now, when you find that in the given equation, the exponents of the variable are all same for all the terms given in the expression. Like here, the exponent of x is 2. Here, the variable is x and y. So the exponent of x is 1, exponent of y is 1. So the sum of those two exponents, it also gives us 2, as well as the exponent of y is 2 here. So everywhere you are having the exponent of the variable equals to 2. So this kind of equations are called homogeneous equation of degree 2. Is it clear? This kind of equations are called homogeneous equation of degree 2. And remember one thing, very, very important. Any homogeneous equation of second degree, this is a homogeneous equation of degree 2. Why degree 2? Because the exponent of the variable is 2 in all the terms. So any homogeneous second degree equation always represent a pair of lines. Remember this, always represents a pair of lines passing through the origin. It is always homogeneous equation of second degree represents a pair of lines always passing through the origin. Is it clear? So in this case also, this homogeneous second degree equation, which is our ax squared twice hxy plus by squared equals to 0, it is a homogeneous of second degree. So it represents a pair of straight lines passing through the origin, right? So we can write in this way also. If I divide both sides by b, so we are having y squared plus twice hxy by b plus a by b x squared equals to 0. Let me divide both sides by x squared. So we are having y over x whole square plus 2h over b y over x plus a by b equals to 0. Right? Now, let us say y by x is nothing but our m. So this equation is converted to m square plus 2h over b m plus a by b equals to 0. Now, y over x equals to n implies what? Y equals to mx. Now, since it is a quadratic equation in m, so definitely you are going to have two values of m. Let us say they are m1 and m2. So definitely you are getting two lines which are passing through the origin, because y equals to mx is the equation of a line passing through the origin. So in this case, what you can write? You can write m1 plus m2, that is the sum of two roots of this quadratic equation will be what? Minus b by a. That gives us 2h over b. And m1 into m2, that gives product of two roots, that gives us a by b. Is it clear? So ax square plus twice hxy plus by square equals to 0. This homogeneous second degree equation represents a pair of straight lines passing through the origin. And if these two lines are having their slopes as m1 and m2, then we are having m1 plus m2 is minus 2h by b, and m1 m2 is a over b. Is it clear or not? And these two things we have to remember. These two things we have to remember, right? Let me draw two straight lines passing through the origin. Let us say this is my one line and my other line is this, okay? Now, these two equations are having their equations like y equals to m1x and y equals to m2x. Is it clear? Let us say the angle between these two lines be theta. The slope of this line is m1, the slope of this line is m2. Then what is the angle between them? We know that tan theta is m1 minus m2 divided by 1 plus m1 m2 with a mod sign. So this is basically, what is m1 minus m2? This is nothing but root over of m1 plus m2 whole square minus 4m1 m2 divided by 1 plus m1 m2. Correct? Am I correct? Okay. Now, m1 plus m2 we got minus 2h by b, and m1 m2 we got a by b. So let me just go for the next page. So we are having your tan theta. What we got? Modulus of root over m1 plus m2 whole square, right? What we got? m1 plus m2 whole square, which is basically minus 2h by b whole square, which is nothing but minus 2h by b whole square minus 4m1 m2. What is your m1 m2? It's a by b. So m1 m2 is a by b divided by 1 plus m1 m2. Check the thing. 1 plus m1 m2. And what is m1 plus m1 into m2? It's a by b. So just replace that. So now let us just simplify. So we are having 4h square by b square minus 4a by b divided by a plus b over b. Okay? So let me take common. So 2 will come out, 2b will come out, and it will be root over of h square minus ab divided by a plus b over b. Now this b and this b goes off. So we are left with 2 root over h square minus ab divided by a plus b. Is it clear? Is this clear? So this is the angle between these two lines. So what is the angle between these two lines? This angle is nothing but, this tan theta is nothing but 2 root over h square minus ab divided by a plus b. That's it. So you have to remember this also. The angle between two lines is 2 root over h square minus ab divided by modulus of a plus b. Now the moment you got this, your tan theta is this. Now think about it. If this is your tan theta, and if this theta comes to 0, what do you mean by theta is 0? That is, it is not making any angle. So it coincides with the given line. If the angle between these two, is 0, if this angle is 0, it means what? It means that this line will coincide with this line because there is no angle in between. So they will coincide. So what is the condition that they will coincide? If theta is 0, your tan theta is coming to 0. And if your tan theta is coming to 0, this is coming to 0. If your tan theta is coming to 0, it implies your h square minus AB is coming to 0. So h square minus AB will be equals to 0 when two lines coincide. Yes or no? But now suppose the angle between them, this theta, is 90 degree. Is 90 degree. Yes or no? 90 degree. What do you mean by 90 degree? That is your tan 90 will give us what? It's undefined. And how it becomes undefined? When the denominator of this tan theta becomes 0. That is, your A plus B gives us equals to 0. So when A plus B equals to 0, we say that these two lines are perpendicular to each other. What is A and B? What is A and B? Please come to this equation. What is A and B? It is nothing but the coefficient of x square and the coefficient of y square respectively. What is A and B? Coefficient of x square and coefficient of y square. So when two lines are perpendicular to each other, the coefficient of x square plus coefficient of y square, that becomes equals to 0. So we have to remember that. Very, very important. Three things rather you must remember. One is, what is the angle between these two lines? It's basically 2 root over h square minus ab divided by mod of a plus b, as I have written here. This you have to remember. And you have to remember that these two lines will be coincide. These two lines will coincide when h square becomes equals to ab. And these two lines will be perpendicular to each other when the sum of the coefficient of x square and the y square gives us equals to 0. Okay? Now, this exactly what I have summarized over here. Please see this one. I've said that when your theta is the angle between the pair of lines, then your tan theta gives us this. Two lines will be parallel or coincident when h square minus ab is 0, and they will be perpendicular to each other when a plus b equals to 0. That is, coefficient of x square plus coefficient of y square gives us equals to 0. That's it. That's exactly what we have to remember. Is it clear? And one very important thing that we have learned, that ax square plus twice hxy plus by square equals to 0. This is a homogeneous second degree equation. It always represents a pair of straight lines passing through the origin. And if that two lines are having their slopes m1 and m2, then we have learned m1 plus m2 is minus twice h by b, and m1 into m2 gives us a by b. This is exactly what we have to remember. Is it clear? Absolutely clear to all of you? Okay. If you have any problem, please do write in the comment section. I will definitely get back to you. And after this class, you will be given this class PDF. You can find its download link in the description box. Okay, so you can download this class PDF from there. Now see this question. The question is, if the angle between the pair of lines represented by this equation. Now, let us just tell you one more thing. If you observe, you will find that the angle between the two lines of a homogeneous second degree equation, what we have described, is 2 root over h square minus ab by mod of a plus b. Now, since it does not have any uh, involvement of G, F, and C. So you can remember in this way also that if the general second degree equation, this is the general second degree equation, right? If this represents a pair of lines, in that case also the angle between them will be 2 root over h square minus ab divided by a plus b. Please do remember this. Please do remember this. Okay, for general second degree equation also, if it represents a pair of straight lines, that is the condition. If it represents a pair of straight lines, then the angle between them, that two straight lines, will be nothing but the same thing, which is 2 root over h square minus ab by modulus of a plus b. And the same condition holds true for this case also. If they are parallel, then h square minus ab will be equals to 0. And if they are perpendicular to each other, then a plus b will be equals to 0. Remember that way. So now you see this question. If the angle between the pair of lines represented by the equation this is this one, alpha is a non-negative real number, then find out what is lambda. So what is the angle between these two lines? It is tan inverse 1/3. That means what? Your tan theta is 1/3. Is it clear? Now, this is what? This is pair of straight lines. Now, what is your A? Your A is 1. What is your B? B is lambda. What is your H? 2H is what? 2H is minus 3. So H will be your minus 3 over 2. Am I correct? Okay. So now, what is the angle between them? We have learned that tan theta is 2 root over h square minus ab divided by a plus b. Okay. So this is your 1/3 equals to 2 root over h square. H square is minus ab divided by a plus b. Okay. Give a modulus sign, no problem. Now let me square both sides. So lambda plus 1 whole square is 36, 9 over 4 minus lambda. Right? So simply multiply this. It's 81 minus 36 lambda. Okay? So now, lambda square plus 2 lambda plus 1 is this. So now if I take everything in one side, we are going to have 38 lambda minus 80 equals to 0. Right? So lambda square plus 40 lambda minus 2 lambda minus 80 is 0. So from here we are getting lambda minus 2 into lambda plus 40 equals to 0. So lambda is either 2 or minus 40. But they have said that lambda is a non-negative real number. Non-negative real number. So your lambda equals to minus 40 is impossible. Okay? So the required value of lambda is 2. Hence option A is correct. Is it clear to all? Absolutely? Okay. Let's move for the next problem. Find the value of lambda for which one of the lines represented by the equation this is 3 times the slope of the other. Means, you see, 3x square plus 4xy plus lambda y square equals to 0. This is a homogeneous second degree equation. And as we all know, a homogeneous second degree equation always represents a pair of straight lines passing through the origin. So it represents a pair of straight lines passing through the origin. And what they have said, There are two straight lines passing through the origin, which is represented by the given equation. Now let us say the slope of one line be m. So the other line, the slope of the other line will be 3 times m. That is the condition that they have given. Now we all know that ax square plus twice hxy, just now I taught you, if this equation, it represents a pair of straight lines passing through the origin, and if they have the slopes m1 and m2, then what we have learned, the sum of their slopes is minus 2h by b, and the product of their slopes is a by b, right? So that exact form, what I will try to do it here. The sum of two slopes is what? Minus 2h by b. Acha, by the way, what is your a here? It's 3. What is your, let me do this thing later on. First, let us find out what is a, h, and b. Okay. A is 3 over here. 2h is 4, implies h is 2. And b is nothing but lambda. So, the sum of their slopes is minus 2h by b. That's the slope. So, minus 4 over lambda, which implies 4m is minus 4 over lambda. So, we are getting m as minus 1 over lambda. Clear? Now, the product of two slopes is what? It's a by b. A by b means it's 3 by lambda. That gives us what? 3m square is 3 over lambda. Yes or no? So we are getting m square as 1 over lambda. Right? So if m is minus 1 over lambda, from here we can write m square is 1 over lambda square. So I can write 1 over lambda square is 1 over lambda. So that gives us what? Lambda square equals to lambda. So from here we are getting lambda minus 1 is 0. So either your lambda is 0 or your lambda is 1. Tell me yes or no. Either your lambda is 0 or lambda is 1. But lambda cannot be equals to 0. As if lambda becomes 0, it no more remains a equation where your lambda, quadratic, homogeneous second degree equation, which will represent a straight line. Yes or no? If lambda becomes 0, here what will happen? If lambda becomes 0, then I should not say in that way, because if lambda is 0, even in that case also you are getting two equations. If lambda is 0, we are getting two equations. What is the problem? If I take x common, it will be 3x plus 4y, isn't it so? So one line will be x is 0 and another line will be 3x plus 4y equals to 0, correct? So that is not the argument. The argument is if lambda becomes 0, then your m plus 3m becomes infinity. That is, m becomes infinity. M becomes infinity means your slope is 90 degree. And in that case, both of them will have the same value. But what they have said here is one value, the slope of one is 3 times the slope of the other. So in that case, your lambda equals to 0 is not going to satisfy this equation. Is it clear or not? So lambda equals to 1 is the correct answer. Is it clear? Is this clear to all? So this is how we find out the value of lambda for this kind of problem. See this question? Again, the same question given. If the slope of one line, this, be the nth power of the other. Now, this will be your homework. I'm not going to do it right now. What they have said that this homogeneous second degree equation, this represents a pair of straight lines. Now it has two slopes. I mean, the two straight lines have two slopes. If one is m, the another one, the slope of the another straight line will be m to the power n, right? If it is so, then prove that this relation holds true. Pretty simple sum. Please try this by your own. Otherwise, I will do it in the next class. Okay. Now see this question. The question is, show that this will be also your homework for the next class. See, what is the question? Show that the two straight lines, this is again a homogeneous equation of degree 2. So it represents a pair of straight lines passing through the origin. So two straight lines mean it has two slopes. Let us say the inclination angle be θ1 and θ2 for these two lines. So the slopes are tan θ1 and tan θ2. Yes or no? This is your M1 and this is your M2. These are the slope of the two lines. Now they have said that prove that the difference of their tangents is 2. That is, you have to prove tan θ1 minus tan θ2 is 2. That is, M1 minus M2 is 2. That's exactly what you have to do. Simple thing. You find out what is your A over here. A is what? Tan square theta plus cos square theta. What is B? Sin square theta. What is H? 2H is basically minus 2 tan theta. So H is what? Minus tan theta. That's it. Okay. So what will be the sum of the slopes? Minus twice H by B and product of the slopes A by B. So M1 plus M2 gives us minus twice H minus twice H. H is minus, so it's minus 2 tan theta by B. B is your sin square theta. So that gives us 2 tan theta by sin square theta. Clear? And what is your M1, M2? That is A by B. That is plus cos square theta divided by sin square theta. Am I correct? Am I correct? So you are having M1 plus M2 is this, M1, M2 is this. So find out what is your M1 minus M2. First you find out what is its whole square. I have done the whole sum. Though I told you that I'm going to give you this as homework, but I've done the whole sum. Anyways, so let me do it. So this is M1 plus M2 whole square. Now simply put those values. 4 tan square theta over sine to the power 4 theta minus 4 tan square theta plus cos square theta by sine square theta. Right? So let me take 4 outside, 4 sine to the power 4 theta common. So what we are left with? Tan square theta over here minus 4. Oh, 4th already I have taken common. So, and this sine square theta will come. So tan square theta plus cos square theta into sine square theta. Right? So 4 over sine to the power 4 theta. If I multiply, what we are going to have? Here we are going to have, if we open the bracket, it's tan square theta minus tan square theta sine square theta. So if I take common, minus sine square theta cos square theta. 1 minus sine square theta is going to give us cos square theta. Let me write it here because there's the space is short. Let me do it here. So that gives us 4 sine to the power 4 theta. And we are having tan square theta cos square theta minus sin square theta cos square theta, correct? Now, tan square theta is basically sin square theta by cos square theta. So this gives us sin square theta minus sin square theta cos square theta. Now take sin square theta common. So we are left with 1 minus cos square theta, which eventually gives us sin square theta. So this sin square theta is sin to the power 4 theta, which actually goes off with the denominator. So we are left with only 4. So from here, what we will say, modulus of m1 minus m2 is nothing but 2. Hence proved. So this sum is more on trigonometry than your coordinate geometry. Isn't it so? I hope it is clear to all of you. Right. Let us move for the next conception. It is the combined equation of the angle bisectors represented by the homogeneous equation of the second degree. We are having a homogeneous second degree equation It means that there are two straight lines passing through the origin, right? Now, these are the two given straight lines represented by the combined equation is ax squared twice hxy plus by squared, right? This is the combined equation of these two straight lines. Now, you can easily see that we are going to get two angle bisectors in this case. One is this, and another one is this. Yes or no? So these are the two angle bisectors, and their combined equation is this one. Their combined equation is this one. What is that? X square minus y square divided by a minus b equals to xy by h. Right? Or else you can write in this way also. Hx square minus hy square minus a minus b xy equals to 0. This is the combined equation of these angle bisectors. Is it clear? You have to simply remember, no need to prove all these things. You simply remember this. And one more thing, as I told you in the previous class, that the angle between the two angle bisectors is always 90 degree. That you can observe here also. How we see that two lines are perpendicular to each other when we get a plus b equals to 0. What is a? Coefficient of x square. And what is b? Coefficient of y square. Here the coefficient of x square is h, coefficient of y square is minus h. So if you add it up, you are going to get 0. It implies that the angle between these two angle bisectors is nothing but 90 degree. Is it clear to all? Absolutely. So you have to remember this, that the equation, the combined equation of the perpendicular bisectors, the angle bisectors of the two given lines passing through the origin, represented by this homogeneous second degree equation, is given by x square minus y square by a minus b equals to xy by h, where obviously a should not be equals to b and h should not be equals to 0, right? Otherwise this will become undefined. Okay, so this question came in JEE Main 2023, a very, very straightforward question. Find the equation of the angle bisectors of the lines represented by this equation. Now, if you know the formula, you can solve this equation. Okay, you can find out the equation of the angle bisector. But if you don't know the formula, then what you will do? Then you have to find out the two separate equations by factorizing this. You will get two separate equations of the straight lines passing through the origin. And then you have to find out what is the angle bisector of these two lines. And then you have to combine it again, which is a hectic thing. That is why I'm requesting all the students to please do remember this formula. X square minus y square by a minus b equals to xy by h. Please do remember this. So if we compare with the homogeneous equation, the equation which have been given to us, we get that a is 2, twice h is 1 implies h is 1 over 2, and b is minus 3. Therefore, the combined equation will be x square minus y square divided by a minus b divided by xy by h. So that gives us what? X square minus y square by 5 is 2xy. So that gives us, so from here we are getting, see how straightforward and easy question it is. Hence option D is correct. But it will be easy for you if you know the formula. Otherwise, it will be a hectic job for you people to do it by converting, by finding out the equation of the lines and then finding out the angle bisectors and then again combine it to get the combined equation. It's a hectic and troublesome thing. That will be a complete wastage of time. So please do remember this angle bisector formula, what I taught you. X square minus y square by a minus b is xy over h. That's it. The condition is a is not equals to b and h is not equals to 0. That's it. That's it. Okay. Now see this question. They have said if the pair of straight lines this and this be such that each pair bisects the angle between the other pair. What do you mean by that? Let me just draw this. Now there are two straight lines. Let me draw it with some other color. Chalo, yellow. These are the two lines. Okay. These are the two lines you have. Let us say the combined equation of these two is this one and this one. The combined equation of these two is x square minus 2pxy minus y square is 0. And we are having another pair of lines which are, let me draw it with a dotted line. This, and let us say this. Okay, the combined equation of these two, the combined equation of these two is x square minus 2qxy minus y square equals to 0. Now, what is the question? The question is, each of this pair bisects the other pair, the angle between the other pair. That is, if we consider these two lines, then these two lines will be the angle bisector of these two yellow lines. Or if we take these two lines, then the yellow two lines are the angle bisector of these given two lines of this purple color. Are you getting my point? So what is the way to approach this sum? I will simply take one pair of lines and I will find out the pair of angle bisectors of these given two lines. Let us consider the equation x square minus 2pxy minus y square is 0. Now, for this line, I will find out the equation of angle bisector, which will be nothing but this one. Yes or no? You can do the other way around. You can take this line and you can find out the angle bisector of these two lines to get the equation in this form. So any way you can do. Either you can take the first one or you can take the second one. Choice is yours. So now let me take this one. Here your A is 1, B is -1, and your 2 times H is -2P gives us H is P, minus P. So what will be the angle bisector of these two lines? X square minus Y square. What is the formula? A minus B, XY by H. So we are having minus P times X square minus Y square equals to 2XY. So it is basically X square minus Y square Px square. Just 1 second. If we multiply, we are going to have what we are going to have? Px square minus Py square equals to minus 2xy. So let me take it this side. So Px square plus 2xy minus Py square is 0. So this actually represents what? This is the angle bisector, the combined equation of the angle bisector of these two lines. Now, which is same as this line? According to the question. So I can compare their coefficients because they represent this one and this one represent the same pair of lines. So I can compare their coefficients. So what we are getting? 1 over P minus 2Q over 2 minus 1 over minus P. So 1 over P equals to minus Q equals to 1 over P. So if we choose these two parts, we are going to have PQ is nothing but -1, hence proved. Is it clear to all? Have you understood the fact? What I have done? Since they have said that each pair bisects the angle between the other pair, it means that the pair of lines, the angle bisector, the combined equation of the angle bisectors of one pair of lines bisect the other pair, means the equation of the angle bisector of these two lines will be nothing but this line. Hence, simply I have compared to get this condition. That's it. Is it clear to all? Absolutely. Okay. Now let us come to the last part of this lecture, is what is called homogenization. Very, very important. Very, very important. As far as your JEE Advanced is concerned, as well as for your JEE Mains and your state level entrance examination, this funda, this logic, this conception is very, very important. What is this funda? See, we will capitalize on a particular thing. That is, we know that any homogeneous equation of degree 2 always represents a pair of straight lines passing through the origin. This conception, on this conception, we will capitalize. That is, somehow whether for any equation, if we can manage to homogenize it, that is, if we, just 1 minute. By any means, if you can, homogenize any equation, that is, if we get a homogeneous equation of some form of second degree, we know that it represents a pair of straight lines passing through the origin. But the question comes to that, how we will homogenize an equation which is not a homogeneous equation. Like I'm telling you. Suppose we have been given x square plus y square plus 3x is say 1. Suppose this is given to us. Now I have to homogenize this equation. How to homogenize this? Because this is not a homogeneous equation. The degree of this variable is 2, this variable is 2, this variable is 1, and for this it's 0. So it is not a homogeneous equation. Now, first thing you must remember that homogenization is always done with respect to a line. You need a line. That is what I want to say. Suppose a curve is given, any curve is given to us, and we are having a line. We are having a line. Now we will homogenize this curve with the help of this line. Let us say for this equation, our line given is say 2x minus 3y minus 2 equals to 0. Let us say, I'm taking a rough example. Now, how to homogenize this equation? With the help of this line. See, this line is intersecting the curve at 2 points, this point and this point. Now, if we homogenize this equation with the help of this line, then that actually means the pair of lines passing through these 2 points, pair of lines passing through these 2 points. Which 2 points? The 2 point of intersection. And this point, they are meeting at the origin. Again, I'm telling you, homogenizing means you are always homogenize any equation, any curve with respect to a line. Now, if you suppose this line is given and this curve is given, and this curve is not a homogeneous curve. So how to make that curve homogenized? What we will do, this line is intersecting the curve at these 2 points. Now, if we homogenize this curve with the help of this line, it means that we are finding out the pair of lines passing through the point of intersection of this line and this curve, and passing to the origin, obviously, because now the equation becomes a homogeneous equation of degree 2. So it represents 2 pair of lines passing through the origin. But these 2 points will definitely pass through this 2 point of intersection. The point of intersection is with the line and with the curve. Is it clear? Now the billion-dollar question is how to homogenize an equation with the help of a line. See, we can write 2x minus 3y is 2, which can also be written as which is equals to 1. Always transform any equation of the line given to you in this form. Right hand side is 1. Now for this equation, here is 3x. So simply 3x means what? 3x into 1. So in place of that 1, you write the thing that you got. And this is 1. 1 means 1. It's 1 square. So that is 2x minus 3y by 2 whole square. Is it clear? Now you observe carefully, this whole equation becomes a homogeneous equation of degree 2. If you multiply this x, you are going to get x square from here, xy from here, x square, y square, and xy from here. So it becomes a homogeneous equation. But this homogeneous equation represents what? 2 straight lines passing through the origin. At the same time, it is passing through the point of intersection of the line this and the curve this. That is these 2 points. Always remember that. Once you homogenize a curve with the help of a line, it always passes through the point of intersection of that curve and the given line. Please do remember this. And you have learned how to homogenize an equation. Okay, let me take an example. See this question. The question is, find the angle between the straight lines joining the origin to the points common to this curve and this line. What they're saying, you are having a curve. Let us say this is the curve. And you are having a straight line. Let us say this is the straight line. Okay. Now, it is saying that find the angle between the straight lines joining the origin to the points common to this and this. That is, if you find out a pair of lines which is passing through their point of intersection, this point and this point, and this is the origin. It is passing through the origin. That is, to find out this equation, this two equation of the lines, this is the two equations passing through the origin. So you must find the homogeneous equation to find out their pair of lines. Yes or no? If I get a homogeneous equation, then we will say that that pair of lines will pass through the origin. So it will pass through the origin as well as it is passing through these 2 points. It means that you have to homogenize this equation with the help of the line given to us. Is this much clear to all of you? And we have to find out the angle between them. That's a different issue. But first, I have to find out that homogeneous equation. That is the pair equation of this pair of lines passing through the origin and passing to the point of intersection of the given curve and the given line. Right? So what is the, how you homogenize this equation? This is equals to 1. So simply replace this 7x squared plus 8y squared. This is homogeneous of degree 2. 4xy, I don't have any problem with this also because the exponent is 2 over here also. The sum of the exponents of the variables plus 2x. So x means it's into 1. So in place of 1, I will write in place of y. So it is y into 1. So it is 3x minus y over 2. And there is minus 8. So 8 means it's 1 square, right? 1 square means. Now you see, this equation has been transformed into a homogeneous equation. So this guarantees us what? It guarantees us that this pair of lines, because it represents a pair of lines passing to the origin, as well as it is passing to the point of intersection of this line and this curve. Is it clear? So now I have to find out the angle between them. Okay. Now, first, to find out the angle between them, you need to find out A, you need to find out B, and you need to find out H. So what is your A in this case? A is what? Coefficient of x squared. Now, please try to find out what is the coefficient of x squared in this equation. It's 7 from here. Let me change the color of the pen. This is 7 from here. And x squared we are getting from here, right? X squared we are getting from here. It is 6x squared by 2. That is 3x squared. So plus 3. From here we are not getting anything. From here we are getting 9x squared by 4 into 8. So it is 18x squared. So it is basically 18 we are getting, right? So it is coming to 28. Now what is B? B is basically coefficient of y squared. What is y squared? Coefficient. It is 8. And from here, no coefficient of y squared. From here, we are getting 4y into this. So it is basically plus 4y squared by 2. That is 2y squared. So plus 2. Am I correct? And from here, we are getting y squared by 4. Y squared by 4. Is it clear? Are we getting that? Y squared by 4 and minus 8. So it is minus 2 basically. So it's minus 2. Yes or no? So we are getting this thing as 8. Now please check once again the coefficient of x square. This is correct. It is 7. And from here we are getting 6 over 2. That's 3. Okay. And from here we are getting, oh, it's not plus. It will be minus. It will be minus. Isn't it so? Because the minus sign is outside now. So it will be minus. So it will be basically minus 8. It will be basically minus 8 in that case. I've wrongly copied the sign. So it will be minus 8. Is it clear? Now, don't try to find out h. H is basically the coefficient of xy. So no need to find out that, because I can easily see that your a plus b is coming to 0. As your a plus b is coming to 0, we know that when a plus b, that is the coefficient of x square and coefficient of y square, equals to 0, then the two lines are perpendicular to each other. That is, this angle is nothing but 90 degree, as you are getting a plus b equals to 0. Is it clear? So the angle between them is nothing but 90 degree. Right? Okay, let's move for the next problem. So have you understood how we are homogenizing a non-homogeneous equation with the help of a line, which gives us a pair of lines passing through the origin and the point of intersection of the given line and the curve? Okay, see this question. Chords of the curve, this one. Chords of the curve, this one, which subtend a right angle at the origin, passes through a fixed point whose coordinates are. Okay. Understood. What they're saying is you are actually having a curve. This is a curve. Now, see, there are lot of chords here. There are lot of chords here, right? But that chords which are all passing through a fixed point, right? They're all passing through a fixed point, and every chord is making an angle 90 degree at the origin. 90 degree at the origin. That is, if I draw these two lines, though this angle is not 90 degree according to our figure, but it's okay. We can understand it. This angle will be 90. If we join these 2 points with the origin, again, this angle will be again equals to 90 degree. And this thing goes on. If we join this and this is again forming 90 degrees. So we have to find out that particular point through which this chord is passing. All these chords are passing through a fixed point. This is the fixed point. What is the fixed point? The point of intersection of all those chords. That fixed point we have to find out. That is the question. Is it clear? So let me just erase all those lines. Okay, so let me take only one line. Let us take these 2 lines. No problem. Or let us take one line only. Now let us say that this line, the equation of this line, as it is making an angle with the origin, so we can easily understand that we have to homogenize this curve. And as they are saying that it is making a right angle at the origin, so it is very easy for us. The moment we homogenize the curve given with the help of the equation of the chord, what we will do, we will simply add the coefficient of x square and the coefficient of y square, which is your a and b, and make it equal to 0. Because if the chords, if the lines are making an angle 90 degree at the origin, then the sum of the coefficient of x square plus the sum of the coefficient of y square becomes 0. So that's exactly what we are going to do, and we will easily get the fixed point. So now, but the problem in this question is that the chord is not being given to us. Okay, let us assume that the chord is y equals to mx plus c. Let us assume that. Let us say the chord is y equals to mx plus c. So this equation is y equals to mx plus c. So we have to homogenize the given curve with the help of this line. So this line can be written as y minus mx by c equals to 1. So let me replace this. Let me homogenize this curve with the help of this line equation. Minus x over here, y minus mx over c plus 4y, y minus mx over c. Am I correct? Which is equals to 0. Now, this represents what? This represents what? This is a homogeneous equation of degree 2. So it represents a pair of straight lines passing through the origin and this 2 point of intersection of this line and this curve. But this 2 pair of lines is making an angle 90 degree at the origin according to the question. So what we will say, we will simply say that the coefficient of x square, coefficient of x square. What is coefficient of x square? Bolo. From here we are getting 4. From here we are getting m over c, x square, and no more x square we are going to have. Now what is coefficient of y square? Here it is 1. From here we are not going to get any coefficient of y square, but from here we are going to have this is 4 over c, right? 4 over c, which is equals to, I'm sorry. Yes or no? So this is the coefficient of x square, this is the coefficient of y square. So what we will say, coefficient of x square plus coefficient of y square equals to 0. Why? Because they are making an angle 90 degree at the origin. So 4 plus m over c plus 1 plus 4 over c equals to 0. So that gives us 5c plus m plus 4 is 0. So what is m? M is nothing but minus 4 minus 5c. Okay. Now let me replace this in the given straight line equation. So y equals to mx minus 4 minus 5c. That gives us mx minus y minus 4 minus 5c is 0. So that implies what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've written this thing absolutely wrong because I have to replace m, no? I'm not replacing c, I'm replacing m. I'm sorry. So please replace this m. So you are getting y is equals to minus 4 minus 5cx plus c. So it's y equals to minus 4x minus 5cx plus c. So take everything in the left hand side. So we will have 5cx plus y plus 4x minus c equals to 0. So from here we are getting, if I take c common, it is 5x minus 1 plus y plus 4x equals to 0, correct? Now, if you observe this, in the previous class, I told you the converse of pair of lines. Here c is the parameter. Here c is the parameter, right? So what we know, that this is a family of lines passing through the point of intersection of this line and this line. Can you remember? If not, please do revise my previous videos. Previous lectures, until and unless you revise, you won't be able to understand. I have thoroughly described there in family of lines. So from here we are getting x as 1 over 5. And from here we are getting y is minus 4 over 5. So this is our fixed point through which all the chords are passing. of this given curve, which are making an angle 90 degree at the origin. Is it clear? This question is a wonderful sum. This question has been taken from S.L. Loney. So it's a very, very good question. You can check it there. Well, let us move for the next question. Now, this question I'm not going to do for you. You people will do. Find the equation of the line pair joining the origin and the point of intersection of this line, this and this. So from here, I simply want that you homogenize this equation with the help of this line. That's the first part of this question. Also find the angle between these two lines. So you can find out the angle. In that case, the moment you get the homogeneous equation, you will find out what is your A, what is your B, and what is your H. The moment you got these three things, you will find out the angle with the help of this formula. Can you remember? This formula. So find out that angle from here. Okay, this sum will be your homework. This sum will be your homework, right? Okay, see this question again. This is also a very interesting sum. Method is same. Logic is same. You will understand this. See this. The line this intersects the curve this at 2 points P and Q. Let me draw the curve. The curve is this and the line is this. Okay. They are intersecting at 2 points P and Q. They are intersecting at 2 points P and Q. Right? Now, you have to draw a circle making this PQ as its diameter. Making this P and Q as its diameter. So how the circle will look like? Let us say this is the circle. It is passing through these 2 points. So let me just draw it like this. But that will be the diameter, right? That will be the diameter. Let me just... Okay, this is the diameter. Okay, so this circle has been drawn by taking PQ as a diameter. And it passes through, this circle is passing through a point which is the origin. Now they have said, they prove that this relation exists. Simple. PQ is the diameter. So, very common sense, you see this one. If I join these 2 points, if I join P with the origin and Q with the origin, this angle will become what? It is a semicircle. So angle in a semicircle is always at right angle. So this angle is basically 90 degree. This angle is basically 90 degree. Is it clear? Now, these are the 2 pair of lines passing to the origin as well as passing to the point of intersection of the given line and the curve. So what you have to do? What should come in your mind? I have to homogenize. I have to homogenize this equation. This is not a homogeneous equation. If 1 would have been replaced by 0, then it is a homogeneous equation. But it is not a homogeneous equation. So I have to homogenize this equation with the help of this line. How to do that? We are having Lx plus My is minus n. So Lx plus My by minus n is 1. So replace it. So I have homogenized the given equation of the curve with the help of the line given. So this represents what? This is a homogeneous equation. So this represents what? A pair of lines passing through the point of intersection P and Q and passing through the origin. That's it. Okay. As it is making an angle 90 degree at the origin, so the coefficient of x square coefficient of x square. What is coefficient of x square from here? Check this one. It is a. And from here we are getting basically minus L square by n square, right? This is the coefficient of x square. And what is the coefficient of y square? It's b minus m square by n square. Is it clear? Now, since it is making an angle 90 degree at the origin, so you will say the sum of the coefficient of x square plus the sum of the coefficient of y square is equals to 0. So from here we are getting L square plus m square by n square is a plus b. So from here we are getting L square plus m square is n square into a plus b. Hence proved. Hence proved. You will all get these class notes after the class. You can download it from the link given in the description box. So you will directly get this PDF. Is it clear now? So what I have done, they have said that a line given to us and it intersects a given curve at 2 points here, P and Q. And by taking this P and Q as a diameter, we draw a circle which is passing through the origin. And what we have done, we have said that since PQ is the diameter, so angle POQ, this will become what? 90 degree. Why? Because angle in a semicircle is the right angle. So now what we got, we found the pair of lines passing to the origin and passing to the points P and Q. Right? Points which is passing through P and Q. So definitely I have to homogenize this curve with the help of the line given. I have homogenized it, which gives us a pair of lines, OP and OQ. But it is making an angle 90 degree at the origin. So the coefficient of x square plus the coefficient of y square, this will be equals to 0. So that's exactly what I have done, and I got my answer. Is it clear? Okay, let us move for the next problem. Same question here. The pair of straight lines joining the origin to the point of intersection of this line and this circle, this you will do, are at right angles. Okay, I'm revealing the answer. It's option C. So this is the same sum. 2-3 sums I have done based on this. So this I'm not going to do for you again. This you will try. The same thing. You have to homogenize this equation. Which equation? This equation. You have to homogenize this circle equation with the help of this line. So you will get that pair of lines passing to the origin as it is making a right angle. So the coefficient of x square plus the coefficient of y square in that homogeneous equation will give us equals to 0. And from there, you will find out the condition. And the condition is c square minus 9 is 0. This you will do by yourself. Because I've done the same kind of problems 2-3 times. So this question again. Here already the answer has been revealed. So anyways. So pretty simple sum again. Find out if the line this intersect this curve at A and B and the line segment AB subtends 90 degree at the origin. See, one thing I'm telling you, everyone should listen it very carefully. Whenever this type of problems generally comes in our JEE Mains as well as in advanced, they will give you the work to homogenize an equation, and definitely they will give you some conditions, or they will directly tell you that this lines is going to make an angle 90 degree, 90% case, or 90, rather I should say 95% case. They always used to say that this pair of lines is making an angle 90 degree with the origin. So they are forcing you to do to add the coefficient of x square and the coefficient of y square to 0. Because as we know that a plus b is 0 implies that the angle made at the origin is equals to 90 degree. That's exactly what they want. So remember this very, very carefully. So again, they are saying that this line intersects this curve at 2 points. So there is a circle and there is a line y equals to y, x plus y is 4. And they have said that this line intersects this curve at 2 points A and B. And this AB is subtending an angle. This AB is subtending an angle 90 degree at the origin. Let us say 90 degree, the origin is this. So it is forming 90 degree at the origin. Is it clear? Right? So they have said find out. So 90 degree at the origin means what? I have to homogenize this curve, this circle, with the help of this line. So from here we can easily get that x plus y is 4 implies x plus y by 4 is 1. So I am simply homogenizing it. So x plus y by 4 whole square. Now, one should not say, sir, it is already being homogenized. It's a homogeneous equation. Don't say this. Why? Because what I told you, in homogeneous equation, the powers or the exponents of the variable should be 2. Then it's a homogeneous equation of degree 2. But r is not the variable. It is the radius. It's a constant thing for this circle. So don't treat this thing as a homogeneous equation. No, r is not a variable. It's a constant in this case. So I made this thing a homogeneous one. Now simply what you have to find out? You have to find out the coefficient of x square and you have to find out coefficient of y square. Why? Because this pair of lines is making an angle 90 degree at the origin. So what is the coefficient of x square in this case? It's 1 minus r square by 16. This is the coefficient of x square. And what is the coefficient of y square again? 1 minus r square by 16. Therefore, 1 minus r square by 16 plus 1 minus r square by 16, this is equals to 0. So 1 minus r square by 16 2 times is equals to 0 implies r square is 16. And as r square is 16, that implies r is nothing but 4. Since r is the radius, length of the radius, so it cannot be negative. So that is why I'm not taking the minus sign. Is it clear to all? Absolutely. So this is how we homogenized. So we have learned in this lecture, we have learned all the question types as well as the things which are actually involved in our JEE Mains and Advanced syllabus. So that I have completed. So go through it and download this PDF file from the description box. I will give the link of this PDF. So revise it and do problems from any standard book or from any material or the material that you have from any of your coaching centers. So do it. If you face any problem, please do comment me in the comment section. I will definitely try to solve your problem. Okay, so that's all for today's class. So see you in my next class where we are going to start with circle. So till then, goodbye and stay tuned to us. And don't forget to subscribe and share this video. Thank you so much for being with me.